So the numbers looked really good from Saturday. Kind of what was your takeaway how the defense played?
I was pleased. I was pleased that going into it, I thought the preparation was good. I thought the focus throughout the course of the week was good, and I think it's a good lesson for all the young guys and even the veterans in the group to learn is that if you prepare well, you have a chance to play well. And I thought that's what happened. I thought they played well, and I thought they were resilient. There was a couple times they were in some bad spots, and just got to go out and make stops. So overall, I thought it was a good first game. Obviously, the objective and everything we do is to win, and that didn't happen. So, as good as I felt about some aspects of the defense, the goal is that we got to continue to get better, and obviously we got to find ways to win football games.
What were you most impressed with, whether a position group or an aspect of the defense in general?
I was pleased with a couple of things, but I was really impressed with the young guys who were really getting reps for the first time. How well I thought some of those guys played. I thought Dominique Ross played really well for really his first true start at linebacker. I thought Trey Morrison played well as a true freshman. I thought Bryson Richardson did some good things when he was in the game. So I was pleased with that. I was pleased with the young guys. I thought John Smith made a lot of progress from last year to this. And I thought the defensive line as a whole played well. So I was really impressed and pleased with the way they played.
Trey Morrison, what has he done that's impressed you? What's he do well? How hard is that position to play as a young guy?
The most impressive thing about Trey is that none of this seemed too big for him. From the day he walked on campus, he kind of has a quiet confidence about everything he does. He doesn't back down to anybody or anything. A lot of times, guys getting on the field early isn't a reflection of skill set. It's more of a reflection of the mentality they have. And he came with the idea that I'm going to play. And usually, when you believe that you're going to play, that gives you the chance that if you have the skill set to do it, that you can.
Was the plan all along to play Tyler some inside, or did that kind of come up after Aaron went down?
The plan has always been that he could be a swing guy for us. How much he had to swing was going to be based on a lot of things. I mean, with obviously the suspension issue, him playing end in some games is going to be a more of a pressing issue. Having Malik and Taman in the last game allowed us to play him a little bit more inside. So it's going to be a little bit week to week. It's great to have a utility guy like that that can kind of fill in wherever you need it.
And he's been around, and Larry was talking yesterday about how it's easy for him to prepare for either spot. Is he kind of at the point now where one series you could play him at end, the next series he's a tackle? And
yeah, I mean, he did that. He played nose, he played three technique, and he played end all in the game. And I thought did it pretty seamlessly without missing a beat and having any missed assignments or anything. So he is to that point. Most guys don't ever get to that point, to be 100% honest with you, but he's special in terms of his football IQ is really very good.
Speaking of Malik, he had a big game for you guys, and he won't be here the next few games. What type of impact does he bring, and how are you planning on making up for that?
There's two parts to Malik, obviously, is his play on the field, because he's one of our better players. But then his leadership is also a big part of what he does. He is the leader of the defense and of the defensive line. So, I don't know that you're ever going to make up that part of it, that he won't be there in terms of the leadership. In terms of playing time, it's going to be every guy's got to kind of pitch in and make up for the reps that he's not going to be out there. So there's going to be some different guys playing. You could see a Jake Lawler this week. You could see a Chris Collins this week. We'll see how that plays out throughout the course of this week. But obviously his presence will be missed.
From an overall team perspective, Larry wasn't happy with all the penalties. How do you go about addressing penalties with your group?
Well, we kind of break them down into three different categories. You got the ones that are just sometimes part of the game. I thought like Jalen's face mask, for example. He was reaching into a pile and he grabbed the face mask. That needs to be addressed, but those things happen. Then you have penalties that are just dumb, like the pass interference on 3rd and 11 that KJ was in great shape. There's no reason to reach out and grab him. And we did grab his wrist, and there's no reason to do that. That's just not a smart thing to do. And then there's the selfish ones. Those are the personal foul ones, and we had one of those too. So the ones that are personal fouls and the ones that are selfish, those can't happen. We got to eliminate the dumb ones and live with some of the ones that just happen throughout the heat of battle.
No real catastrophics in this game. What's the difference when when you have something like that, a catastrophic play that blows up against you, versus a situation like that there where you didn't? What are you guys doing better consistently to not allow that? Is it a speed, quickness thing, or is it more at the point of attack?
Well, it's both. I mean, a lot of times catastrophics are a result somewhere of a misassignment, right? So if you don't have those misassignments and people are executing, you cut down on the catastrophics. But then the second part is balls are going to get out. Like they had one run on a zone pressure that we ran that got out a little bit, but Cater did a great job from the backside tracking it down. Great effort, great hustle. Our post safety did a good job getting the ball on the ground, so it didn't turn into a catastrophic. And that's what's got to happen. If you do have a breakdown, you have to have people relentlessly going to the ball to make sure it doesn't, what is a 20-yard gain doesn't turn into a really huge play.
Schematically, is there anything you can tell us about what y'all did differently up front to create more pressure? Obviously, so you run a lot of stunts and things like that to get the tackles for the loss and the sacks.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to do a little bit more pressure than we have in the past, and I think that's just a greater comfortability for the guys in the defense. And we played a lot more odd front, which in our definitions anyway, at least, we play a zero nose and 2-4 eyes or 1-3 technique and a 4-eye. So it kind of changes our structure up front a little bit. That was one of the new wrinkles going into the year. And now that's on tape, I guess. It's great to talk about it, but that was one of the things that we kind of modified and went to a little bit. And so we're going to be a multiple 3-4 team and a 4-3 team, and that's kind of the playing.
And it seems you brought a lot of like corner blitzes and linebacker blitzes too. Is that just more aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to pick your spots, and depending on the team and depending on matchups and all those things. But we felt going in that there were some things that we could take advantage of in the pressure game, and wanted to get after as much as we could.
What challenges does ECU present?
First challenge is that they want to play with great tempo. So anytime you're playing a tempo offense that's going to hurry and get on the ball, it puts a stress on the defense to make sure we're communicating, we're lined up, everyone's got the call. So that's where it starts. Excuse me, too. Anytime you're playing someone that wants to take shots on the perimeter, they have big play capability. So we got to make sure that number one, we control the tempo, and number two, that we limit their explosives. And if we do that, then I think we have a chance to play a good game.
You mentioned Dominic Ross. Just kind of how much have you kind of seen him burst in terms of pass coverage or his pass coverage?
Oh, he's made just tremendous strides over the last 3 years in every part of his game. I mean, he was more of a defensive end coming out of high school. Didn't play true linebacker behind the ball. So everything he's done here is really learning how to play that position. He was a true projection in terms of what he can be as a linebacker. And I can't tell you how impressed I am with the growth he's had over the last couple of years.